It is Friday, December 27th. And you know what that means? It's time for Art Pastor Live Christmas edition because, yes, indeed, it is the third day of Christmas. And so I'm excited to share this live stream with you. One of the great uh, benefits of working at a seminary is that I actually get Christmas break. And so I've been on break this whole week. I hope you all had a great Christmas celebration. And I started a new oil painting. Can't really see it in the dark back there. I've been working in my studio all week, putting together lots of great stuff. Of course, celebrating Christmas with my family, and I hope you have had a great time. And so this Friday afternoon, I am ready to go. And every Friday, what I like to do is end the week by gathering online with you, whether you're on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. I invite you to join me for doing some contemplative art because here at the Art Pastor, it is my desire to explore spirituality and scripture through visual art and creativity. And one of the things I love to do is just contemplative art. And so I like to put on some chill music, think about a text or think about a concept, and then just see where the art takes me. Um, and today we're going to look at the theme of Christmas in general, and I've got some ideas I want to play around with. But I also invite you to create art with me. So if you want to grab your art supplies, um, just a pencil and paper is all you need, or if you want to do watercolor or colored pencil or oil paint, doesn't matter. I'm going to be working on my iPad, and um, because it's easy to do and it's very easy to share with you. So I've got some chill music going. We're going to dive right into it today. But again, if you're with me live, I invite you to leave a chat, um, leave a message. Just let me know you're here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat box. You can ask questions about the the technique that I'm using or about the concept that I'm exploring. Doesn't matter. This is just a time to kind of chill, do some art together. And I just want you to know, if you're a regular here on the Art Pastor Live, you'll notice I got a new thing. Notice how my screen is circle now? Oh, I learned how to do that this week. Always learning new things, always upgrading, always tweaking, because that's how we roll. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do today. Um, like I've been doing recently, I like to work in Procreate app on my iPad. And so I'm going to open up Procreate, going to click the plus sign, start a new um, file. Hey, Bob's there. All right, great to see you, Bob. Blessed Christmas to you as well. And so I'm opening up a 4K square image, which means 4,000 pixels per square inch, which is a pretty high resolution file. And the square format seems to work well for a number of reasons. And yeah, so let's dive in. Let me know if the music is too loud for you. I can always turn it down. So first thing I like to do is go to my background color and just set a nice neutral background because when you start with a middle tone, you can work dark and to light instead of just like a white paper. The only time you really want to start with a pure white paper is if you're doing real traditional watercolor, because you have to use the white of the paper for the whites. But the beautiful thing about this, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so here's what I've been thinking about. It's Christmas, and what do we say at Christmas time? Most in the United States, we typically greet each other with Merry Christmas. And I put out a Merry Christmas to some folks, and on the Art Pastors Network, um, let me turn this music down a little bit. Actually, let me turn it off while I'm talking. On the Art Pastors Network, one of my dear friends, a longtime member of the network, gave a gentle pushback to the greeting Merry Christmas and said, "Hey, what if this year we didn't say Merry Christmas, but we said Blessed Christmas?" Hey, Adam's on with us. Oh, that's awesome. Great to see you, Adam. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy it. Um, so this member of the network said, "Hey, the idea of Merry Christmas really comes from Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol and the ghost of Christmas present, talking about the Merry Christmas. Because actually, today in the United Kingdom, people don't say Merry Christmas; they say Happy Christmas. And so my friend was saying, what if we got back to what the shepherds actually said and what this actually spirit of Christmas is? Remember, Jesus was a Jewish man who was born in Israel 2,000 years ago. And the Jewish people were seeking shalom. They were seeking the peace. And the angels said to the shepherds, "Peace on earth, goodwill towards all people." And what if we said shalom or peaceful Christmas, or actually what I like best is blessed Christmas, because blessed are those, blessed are the meek, the Beatitudes are all about the blessedness, and we bless the Lord blesses us. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. And so here's what I want to do. I want to think about Christmas in terms of blessed Christmas, and I also want to think about Christmas in the terms of Jesus coming as the incarnation of God in the uniqueness of a human life. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is start with an abstract, fun thing. And I'm going to actually put my background to a very dark, and I'm going to set, now I can turn my music on because I'm going to start getting contemplative now. I'm going to do some fun contemplative art. I'm actually going to create a snowflake. And the reason I want to do a snowflake is because um, the amazing thing about snowflakes is like every single one of them is unique in the universe. And one of the things about being human is that even though we're all humans, each one of us is a unique creation. And in order for God to become human, God had to become specifically a particular human being, a one of a kind. And that's pretty cool. And he was a very particular, special kind of human because he was both God and human. So let's do a snowflake. Maybe you'll have fun just painting a snowflake just because they're fun to paint. So what I'm going to do is put on my drawing guide. I'm going to symmetry, and we're going to go to this radial symmetry. Now I've used this radial symmetry um, a few times in the live streams just because they're super fun. But I've got this brush. It's called Crystals. And check this out. If I blow it up really big, it's actually, the brush tip is actually the shape of a crystal. But when we make it really small, I just want to get that jaggedy thing. Because the thing about snowflakes is they're actually just ice forming crystal formations, and they're symmetrical. And so I'm just going to randomly start creating a pattern. And I don't know where this pattern's going to go. And that's what makes it fun. I just created kind of it kind of looks like a dove. That's kind of cool. Ooh, that just made me think I could create like hidden little patterns. Yeah, that's cool. Turn my music up a little bit so I can hear it. And I did choose some Christmas music for our contemplative space. And I wanted to try this crystal brush because I didn't want it to be like really smooth lines, because there's nothing smooth about ice crystals. Maybe we'll put how's that looking? Do you remember when you were a kid and you did how you can fold up the paper into like the pie shapes and do the cutting? This is basically what's happening here with this radial symmetry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to make it an add layer, and I'm also going to make it a drawing assist so that you can see the symmetry. I'm going to choose my little airbrush. You just want to put a little bit of a glow in certain parts. Let's make the outside of it glow. I think I need my soft airbrush. That's kind of fun. Then I'll go back to my small airbrush. I can make little yeah, there you go. So now we got this nice glowy snowflake. And so if I take this layer, if I group these together, then I will have the snowflake on one layer. I'm actually going to make it a little smaller. And we're going to come back to that and turn off the drawing guide. Now I'm going to save my snowflake. Oh, I just noticed, see how the edges of the snowflake are sharp? I want to come here and take my airbrush as a blending tool and just kind of blend that out so that we don't have that sharp edge. There we go. Okay, good. All right, now we're going to turn that off for a second. And then I want to come up here And snowflakes are something I haven't seen for a few years. Oh, that's right, Bob. uh, yeah, much more intricate than our child created snowflakes. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, you can see my reflection in my iPad here. Let's see if I can. It's not, light's not working great. Try to get that so you can't see that as much. I got a new stand for Christmas for my over-the-shoulder camera. That's right. Okay, so now what I want to do is make a new layer. And I want to turn a different drawing guide on. And I just want it to be a 2D grid. And I'm going to take my my sketch marker, and I do want to make this drawing assist. And I want to make some guidelines. And I'm going to do a little bit of lettering. So I'll make a new layer. And I want to do some lettering. See if any of our Bible nerds out there know what I'm doing here. Anybody know what that word is? Yep, it's the word shalom in Hebrew. So I'm going to take my crumb brush in. Whoops. Get a new layer. Just do a hand scripted. So the Hebrew word shalom means peace. And it's what the shepherds or the angels said to the shepherds, peace on earth. And you know, I know we talked about peace a couple weeks ago in Advent. And peace, shalom, the idea of peace, is not an absence of conflict, but is the presence of something where people are actually living together for the mutual good. That's very different. Shalom is a substance. Shalom has weight to it. Shalom is a world where people actually get along with each other and work together. Sometimes when we think, you know, can we just have peace? What we're saying is, can people just not fight? No, that would be great. But God's preferred and promised future for the world is shalom. Shalom on earth. Can you imagine how amazing that would be? So I got shalom there. And let's make shalom just a little bit. Whoops. Don't want to flip that vertically. I want to hit uniform so I can make the word a little smaller so it fits inside those letters. And come back here to my sketch. And the next thing I want to do is just letter out the word shalom in English. So when I do lettering, I just try to get the basic area that the letters will take up first as a rough sketch. Like that. And I'm not using a particular font, just doing letters that are interesting to me in this moment. And the beauty of doing digitally is I don't have to worry about centering it too much because I can move it. There's such freedom with the digital art, you know? And then down here, the next thing I want to do is use the English word, peace. Move it right here. Bring the opacity down on that again. Now I'll create a new layer for Shalom. And I'm going to go ahead and I think do all of the inking with this crumb brush in. See how shaky that is? I'm actually going to go ahead to my streamline. What I did there is I have a pen that has, it's called Streamlined, where it's really nice because it takes out the hand jitteriness, makes your lines smoother, so which is really nice for lettering. Now, there are some people in this world who are just amazing letterers. I'm not one of those people, but I like to do it. Okay, now I'm going to make one more layer, and I'm going to do peace. I'm going to use the Cumbracian. This one we're going to have a little bit of a serif to it. Okay, so now I can take and grab the shalom and try to get it lined up a little bit. I can turn this sketch layer off. So now I have these three words, and again I'm going to group them, grab them here, and turn them off for a second. And I'm going to create one more thing, and I'm going to pull all of these things together in just a moment. Well, thanks, Bob. Bob said really beautiful lettering, great tool. Thanks, I appreciate that a lot. Okay, I'm going to use my I'm going to go ahead and use my streamline tool, and I'm going to come down here and use a light blue. I'm going to use another really cool trick from Procreate. All right, I'm going to draw, just not care too much, just draw somewhat of a circle. If I hold it, it makes a sphere, but if I touch with my finger, it makes a perfect circle. Is that cheating? Yes. But it's so much fun. Okay. And I'm going to fill this circle like that. Let me get rid of my drawing guide. And now I have this beautiful sphere. And now we're going to start pulling these elements together. I'm going to pull my star. I said star, didn't I? I'm giving away my point. I want to use the snowflake to be the star. So we're going to put the star right here. And this is going to represent a couple different things in a moment. So I've got that star. And now I want to take my words and I want to bring my sphere underneath my words. And I'm going to duplicate this group so that I don't lose it. But I'm going to turn off one. And then I'm going to merge, I'm going to flatten this group. So now it's just one layer. I'm going to bring it down like this. I'm going to bring the shalom inside. And then I'm going to do what's called warp. I'm going to pull that and I want to wrap this into the sphere like this, which I think is pretty cool. And now we have peace. And you can probably see where I'm going with this is peace on earth, goodwill toward all people, right? And so now what we want to do is take this sphere and I want to create a layer above it, and I want to create a clipping mask, and I want to take my large soft brush and yeah, you know what? I think what I want to do is I want to make a little bit lighter blue and drop it into the word shalom. Let me make this bigger so you can see what I'm doing, which is kind of cool. I'm actually going to put this layer under here. So now the words are sandwiched and clipped to the globe underneath this layer. And I'm going to make this layer blend with what's called multiply. So if I use just the same color as the globe and use my soft airbrush, it should start creating some shadow. Which I just think is really cool. And because it's multiply, it's not painting over the letters, but it's shading them along with the sphere, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to go a little darker with this, and it'll create a little bit of a darker value. That's pretty cool, huh? Are we having fun yet? Now, of course, you know what I got to do next, right? Is I've got to create a layer here where I come down to my note shelf and I take out my ink sprinkle and I do a pale white we got to do some stars. That may seem like overkill on the stars, and you're probably right. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an overlay for those so they just get real subtle. And then I'm going to do another layer and just do a couple and then I'll just take take an ink brush that's not working very well. Let's go back to our ink sprinkle. This brush isn't as big as I would like it to be. Let's make that, there we go. That's better. What I did was I went into the brush settings and I made the spatter spacing just much bigger so that this ink sprinkle just has a much more distributed and when I do stars like this, I always like to throw some pink ones in there too. I think it just adds a little subtle color mix. Then I'm going to take underneath this globe, I'm going to grab that color and I'm going to come to a almost white, and let's go to soft brush, make a really big brush and do a little bit of an atmosphere around this globe. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So many people don't really know what peace means. I guess we just have to keep proclaiming the peace that God intends. Yeah, that's right, Bob. Absolutely. Okay, so now um, I'm going to put a layer on top of this layer. That's an overlay layer. And just try to soften the edges a little bit. Because you get a little bit of that atmosphere around the earth. Yeah? Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, let's see what happens when I go. Something I also want to do is I want to take my thin wash and just do a little bit of just a little indication of like continents. Just to give it more than just the middle of the Pacific Ocean, right? And then of course we've got to put some white at the top. And you also need to put another clipping mask, and this one we want to make overlay, and see what happens if we use white with the big soft brush, as big as we can get it, and just create the lighting of the star on the top of the globe. There we go. And now, under the star, where did I put the star? Which one's the star? Oh, here's the star. I'm going to make a new layer, but put that underneath the star. Use my soft white brush. Just put a nice soft glow underneath the snowflake. Now, does it look better or worse if I make this overlay? I can't even see it if I make it overlay. I think normal's just fine. So the question is, do I want to extend that like that? Yeah. I don't know. I have another sketch I did thinking about Mary's Wanderings based on the narrative reading for this week. So I'll send it to you if you don't want to. If you want to see it, Bob, I want to see it. Of course, I want to see it. You know, I said I was going to sketch about Christmas, and I invited you to sketch about Christmas, and I would love to see what you ended up doing. This is the direction I went. So just as a reminder, I made a snowflake, and for some reason I have a dot right in the middle of my snowflake. Now I've got to go through my layers and see where that dot's coming from. Ah, it's a star. Oh, that's because my stars are above my snowflake. I need to put these underneath that. There you go. Oh, that's better. So I did a snowflake to represent the uniqueness of Jesus in his incarnation, in the same way that every human being is unique creation within the genre of human, if you will. And also the snowflake is doubling as the star that came, and of course the star is for Epiphany, that led the Magi. And so I'm bringing the beginning and the end. There was no star with the shepherds, remember that. And so this star is also representing the host of the heavens, which came to the shepherds to declare peace on earth, goodwill towards all people. And so I got a little earth, got a little shalom, peace. Yeah, sweet, pretty cool. So let's see. Adam said, what did Adam say? Better. Oh yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so much better. So okay. Hey, this is a little bit shorter this time, but I think we got a really fun image here. And so again, thanks for joining me. Hey, here at Art Pastor, my mission is to explore spirituality and scripture through visual art and creativity, so that together we can grow deeper in the love of God through Jesus Christ and the power of the Holy Spirit for the sake of the world. And I'm so glad that you joined me live this week during the Christmas season. And if you're watching this video later, thanks for watching. And if you made an image with me, I would love to see it. You can post it on the Facebook comment, or you can email to me, steve@stevethomason.net. And I'd love to see it. Again, thanks for joining.